I helped over 100 financial advisors and their teams create, document, and improve their proprietary processes and frameworks inside their advisory business. Today I'm going to show you the 5 key steps that I use to help these advisors have greater confidence and clarity that led to more growth, greater income, and a more meaningful impact. Hi, I'm John Cook. I'm the founder of Advisor Story, where we help financial advisors have greater confidence and clarity to talk about what they do in a remarkably different way. Because life is too short to sound like every other financial advisor. Now, many advisors, maybe even yourself, that you have a process that you use for attracting the right clients into your business and then onboarding them as an advisor. The problem is, many of the advisors that I've worked with, and I've worked with close to 300 advisors and their teams, over 100 of them either don't know what the process is, or they weren't clear on every step of the process. They don't know why each step is in the process, and they have no clear metric or measurable for knowing if each step was even a success. So this idea of having a process in place, that might not even be something that you have already intact for your business, but we need to explore this idea of a proprietary process. Some call this a framework or a method, a process, whatever name you call it. The whole idea is that you have a way of helping your investor clients go from here to here with a step-by-step approach. There's tremendous value in documenting your proprietary process as a financial advisor. The value is in articulating how you do what you do in a remarkably different, fresh way. So whether you don't have any type of proprietary process, or maybe you have one but you just don't love it, that's why I recommend following these 5 steps to build out your own process. The first step is to reverse engineer with the end in mind. Stephen Covey wrote an amazing book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It talks about the second habit is beginning with the end in mind. So what's the goal that you want to help your investor clients uniquely achieve? Do they want to sell their business for a profit? Do they want to hand over that business to their hand-picked successor? Do they want to save up enough for retirement? Do they want to be philanthropic? Do they want to create generational wealth? And none of those outcomes happen by accident, as great as that would be. You need a plan, a step-by-step way to get where you want to go. So like a stairway though, you need to see where the landing spot is and have the right steps in place to get to that landing spot. So if you don't have a good framework in place, start with the end goal. That's the extraordinary world for your clients, and then reverse engineer from there. Identify the exact steps your investor client needs to get to that end goal. So I recommend having between 3 to 7 steps to get between this starting point where they are now to this extraordinary world, but ideally having 3 to 5 steps seems to work best. So give each step a unique role and purpose. What's the purpose of this step? What do you want each step to accomplish in your process? Our second step is to articulate what already exists. What if you don't have a framework or proprietary process? Maybe you recently went independent after being with a national firm for a while, or you're trying to create a new process because the current process it can't really serve you well moving forward. So chances are you already have a process that isn't documented well. That's probably how you came up with the different pieces of your process during this first part. So several of the advisory businesses that I've worked with have a process that they were already using that wasn't well articulated. That's no fault, no slight to anyone else. But what did we do? Through a series of short conversations, we were able to extract the different pieces of their process. And like a puzzle, we were able to document the process, give it a great name with a great meaning, and then they could now see what they could use through every conversation. The third step is to challenge every piece in place. And now that you have your process laid out with each of the pieces, 3 to 5, 3 to 7 different pieces, you have your end goal. One of the most challenging yet beneficial exercises that you can do right now is to challenge the purpose and place of each piece in your process. Are any of these steps unnecessary? Don't use 5 steps if 4 steps can get the job done just as well. Also, with each essential step, is it in the exact order that it needs to be in your process? Is each piece in each step in the right place? So the right steps in the wrong order, that can still be a pretty decent process, but it's amazing what happens when you have the right steps in the right order. Now there's a practice that's employed by military forces and strategists, inventors, tech teams all over the world called red teaming. It's the idea of segmenting part of your team to act as an adversary or an enemy. Now this small group, or maybe in a single team member, their whole job is to plan how can they break your process? How do they make your plan break? They're supposed to find all the weaknesses, the gaps in coverage, the lapses in security, and even question and test the efficiency of each part of your process. So if you have a trusted colleague on your team, or maybe somebody who isn't in your advisory business every day, they may be a great person to say, hey, can you red team our proprietary process? Ask them to be as direct and thorough as you'd like. They don't have to be a jerk about it, but say be as thorough, be as direct as you want. But the whole goal is to find holes in your process before you introduce it to the world. Now, once you've done the red teaming and you have a great working model of your proprietary process, it's time to then field test your process with a small group of trusted investors. The fifth and final step is what I call believing in the power of infinite iterations. Now you have this new process. You have it red teamed, you have it field tested, you're ready to go. It's time to share it with the world. So start incorporating that into every conversation that you have with your current and prospective investor clients. If you love the name of your process, you may even want to start the trademark for its name. So one last step that's good to have in the back of your mind is this power of infinite iterations. Yes, you can put together this process, but you can always change it. You can always work towards improving your process and do it over and over and over again. Infinite iterations, that's the secret. Continual improvement for you and your team with every conversation as a financial advisor. If you like what I shared today, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to catch more of my videos about how to have a clear, meaningful message that shows you're remarkably different. Because life is too short to sound like every other financial advisor. And where I see a lot of advisors get tripped up with that first step in this process, reverse engineering your process with the end in mind, is not knowing exactly who you want to serve. Like, who are the exact type of people that you want to welcome into your advisory business? So I created a video about how to identify the exact type of investor clients that you want to attract, understanding what matters to them the most, and maybe even getting inside their thinking to a point where it's almost like you're a mind reader. So hit play on this next video, and I'll see you there.